Minister Said, it would be great if you could just give us a kind of a recap of everything that's happened, and if you could give us a latest, kind of a assessment of the situation in the Maldives, because you are one of the key people, handling the situation over there.
As you have been covering over the last few days, we are in a situation uh, for at this moment. In their press briefings, reveal some of their conclusions have been made public, and we know the situation is, and we know the extent the bribery has gone, the influence of some private business people have led, the Supreme Court judges, and what the situation is all about.
There have been a lot of calls from the world community for the president to roll back the state of emergency. This state of emergency was for 15 days. What is the assessment right now? Will the emergency continue just for 15 days, or is there a possibility it could be extended?
Well, President is the head of the state and head of the government, and it's his constitutional right to ensure that the society is in a position where it is safe for every individual, and all independent institutions are fully functioning. The government is functioning. Life is normal. These are duties of His Excellency the President. It's a constitutional right.
Is there any likelihood that this would be extended beyond the 15 days, or is there any indication from the president? I mean, what he intends to do?
As I said, life is normal. We have our schools in operation, hospitals are in operation, airports are running, business is normal, our resorts are in operation, our fishermen on the sea. Life is quite normal here in the Maldives, and we have a large population of tourists, international visitors, enjoying beautiful holidays here. And you and I, we are speaking as we speak. The business is as quite usual, and I'm glad that Maldives, after every shock, international or domestic shock, it always has a very effective bounce back. In history, if you see, after any crisis, we bounce back to life to normal very, very effectively. And I think the situation now we are in is not as portrayed in the international media at all. It's a normal situation here.
Minister, would you like to react or respond, to the allegations from the opposition parties in Maldives that some of the charges that have been leveled against opposition leaders and also against the judges are trumped up, and that this is being done more to suppress the judiciary and the opposition parties?
Well, as I said, the latest press releases from the police reveal the extent of their bribery and how much some businessmen, and some leaders among the opposition parties have influenced the judges. And this is not my duty to reveal the outcome of the investigations. We have independent institutions like any other society. We are a democratic society here, and our constitution fully give ways, and it established boundaries for these institutions to be independent. And if you refer to the latest press releases from the police, you will know and you will understand how far these activities has gone, and as I said, you can ask any opposition leader today what exact charge they consider is an oppression, and I'm sure they can't respond to that because they have a three-tier court process to prove they are innocent, and why can't they do it?
Minister Said, you were one of the 3 special envoys who were sent to different countries after the emergency was imposed. What was the reaction of your, interaction in China? What sort of message did you get from the Chinese leadership?
We always engage with our friends. We have continuous dialogue with our international partners and allies, and it's nothing abnormal. We always promote dialogue with among our friends internally and externally.
There was also a plan to send one of the envoys to India, I believe the foreign minister, but the visit was cancelled at the request of Delhi. Could you shed some more light on that, and what next? I mean, are you still continuing the engagement with India? Because India has said that it still has some concerns.
Well, as I said, we have 52 years of relationship with India. India is our nearest and dearest and oldest partner.
And is there? I mean, is there any sort of contact since the time when the foreign minister was supposed to come, and after that?
Absolutely. We always have contact with our Indian friends, and we always promote dialogue. We always communicate. We are friends, we are neighbors.
If I could put it in another way, what sort of role are you looking at India playing now? I mean, in this current.
You see, India and us, we have very historical relations. As I said, 52 years is not just a year or two. It's 52 years of ties, friendly ties, and India is our neighbor, our dearest friend, and we have people-to-people relations, we have business-to-business relations, we have government-to-government relations. It's nothing new. I mean, we are friends.
Uh, there is this other issue that whenever China and India come up, that there has been a sort of a perception, at least in the government in New Delhi, that maybe the Maldives government has moved much closer to China in the last few months. Would you like to address that issue? And I mean, there have been reports that the signing of the FTA and the joining of the maritime Silk Route are some things that have not gone down well in New Delhi.
Uh, as you can see, Maldives is a tourist hotspot, very fashionable destination, and the global tourist community admires Maldives, and that includes China, that includes India, that includes all continents. We have visitors from all corners of the globe because, for all kind of stressed minds, Maldives is a cure. Uh, we provide some of the best holiday experiences any destination can offer in the world. We have collection of luxury hospitality labels here from United States, from Europe, from India. Taj is here, one of the first resorts and one of the most profitable entities in the tourism sector. You can ask them. We have new properties from India. We have many properties from Singapore and Asia, and of course, China today is a major economic power. So it's no surprise their investments will spread into the neighbors, the Asia and the globe. These are realities we all see as we speak. We are very open to the world. We do business with the world. We have airlines bringing passengers from all continents, all parts of the world. You mentioned about FTA, free trade negotiations, free trade agreements are nothing new. We do not invent a free trade. It's a global concept. We have, among SAARC countries, we have what we call SAFTA, SAARC Free Trade Area. We have extended our invitations to European Union, to United States, to Japan, to the FTA partners. We are trying to do business here.
So, would you say that some of the concerns that are there in New Delhi are misplaced about this issue?
I think some media statements sometimes mislead the reality on the ground. Today, we are in a globalized world. Things are well integrated, connected. We do business like any other society in the face of the globe.
Also, Minister Saeed, there was this issue of former President Nasheed calling for intervention by India, if necessarily militarily. The Defense Ministry issued a statement on this, I think, a day or two ago. Would you like to respond, to his calls for military or other intervention by India?
Nasheed is a fugitive. He should come and serve his jail sentence first. The international community was wide open fully observing his behavior during 2012 when he abducted the criminal court judge, in broad daylight. The whole world was seeing it. We have a constitution. The constitutional powers demanded it was a mistake. He has his freedom to defend himself. As I said, we have three court-tier processes to defend himself. Why can't he come? I mean, if he's a patriot, if he loves his country, why can't he come to this country?
What next, Minister? I mean, what? How does this play out? I mean, there is, you have said that the president is taking all steps according to the constitution, but the fact remains that a lot of countries, including the U.S., the Western powers, the UN, have expressed concern about the situation. So, I mean, how does this play out? How do you handle these concerns and resolve the whole situation?
Well, the more international community understands the Maldives, what's really on the ground, the better you understand the situation, because we are a very young democracy. We are a state embraced into a democracy quite recently, and we competing with countries who have 200 years of democratic systems, and you can't expect Maldives to have just been portrayed to the world as something really beautiful. If our opposition leaders go and talk about us, in a negative tone, which is not the reality. President Nasheed said Maldives is sinking. He is going to sell Maldives and buy a dry land. You remember?
Yeah.
In 2011, he was saying that, and the following day, you know what he said? Come and invest in the Maldives for long term. Does it make sense? So here is a man who do anything and everything to get the attention of people like you, the media, the international community. He wants to be in the limelight, but it is time. It's very high time to understand this man. He is trying to punish innocent citizen here. We are not just a holiday paradise. We are a very peaceful society here. We love our neighbors. We love other countries. We love our other societies. We welcome people from all corners of the globe. We have our businesses as normal. You interview any individual businessman here. They are quite happy to see the kind of investments that are taking place in this country right now. People are busy with business. Schools are open. We have some of the best educational results in recent history. We have a total transformation to the health sector. We have total transformation to the very basic needs for the people, like irrigation systems, the water, provision of fresh water to the households. We have, elevated people from the poverty line, the lowest infant mortality rate in Asia. You name any international standard to judge the basic human lives. We probably have the best, position in Asia, in this part of the world. GDP per capita, when President Jammeh assumed to office, was 6,000. I remember GDP per capita was 6,000 US dollar. Now we are hitting almost 12,000 GDP per capita. We have been, for the first time, rated in international credit and considered an acceptable investment destination. We pay the highest rate of return in Asia, especially in the tourism sector. So I mean, Maldives is far from the kind of image some of our opposition leaders trying to portray to the international community. It's just for their own benefit.
One last question. Are the doors for negotiations with the opposition leaders totally closed, or would you still be amenable to talking to them to find a solution? And do you think there is a role that India and some of the other countries in this neighborhood could play in facilitating such a dialogue?
Dialogue is wide open. President Jammeh has invited all opposition parties to come and engage in the dialogue. Look, this is an internal affair. This is our domestic. This is a domestic issue, and we are fully capable and fully equipped to solve our domestic issues by ourselves.
So what you're saying is that you would prefer to do it without any intervention by any other countries?
Look, Maldives is an independent country. We have our own constitution. We have our own institutions, we have our own people, This is an internal affair, and we are fully capable of solving our own issues.